Alrighty. What's up, everybody? Peter Gilmore here. For a late night video. Right here on the Peter Gilmore YouTube wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Gilmore. Thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you like this video and hit the subscribe button down below. And like all my other, like and subscribe to all my other channels, my videos. Links are down below in the description box. Friend me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and thank you for all your support. Alright, on this late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Now, usually I would do my NXT review, but I am so dead tired. I'm gonna do my NXT reviews my NXT review tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow night I'm gonna do my Ring of Honor review. So you get 2 videos for the price of 1. And then Friday I'm gonna post up my my video of Joel Maximov taking on Mike Verner for the FSW title. I know it's FBW show is on the same day, but I'm not going to the show, so I'm gonna post the other video that I did commentary for that show. So check it out. Thank you for everybody watching the Sami Callihan video and against Magma. So thank you for all of you who watched that, and shared it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, everywhere else on the internet. So thank you for all your support on that. Ugh. I still have a cold. What else is new? I'm drowsy. I'm not well, but I'm trying to fight through it. It is what it is. Alright, enough about that bullshit. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for your late night Lucha Underground Season 2 review for February the 3rd, 2016 on the LA Network. And, last week I did my first review. We got a lot of responses for it, so thank you for that. It was a great show last week. This week was still a good show, but, it had its moments, and, it is what it is. So, another great show, so let's get to it. Alright, we start the show off with highlights from, last season. Mostly from, Ultima Lucha Night 1 and 2. We see, Brian Cage taking on Willie Mack, and, Brian Cage curb stomping Willie Mack into a cinder block. Then we see Prince Puma working out, and he's having flashbacks of losing the Lucha Underground title to Mil Muertes, and then getting the lick of death by Katrina. So he keeps working out, and then Pentagon Jr., who broke Mil Muertes' arm last week at the end of the show, he comes in, and he's talking Spanish. Thank God for subtitles. And he thanks him for last week, and reveals that they're going to be partners on it in a tag team match, and that he will continue to break bones for his master, Vampiro. He says after they take out the Disciples of Death, the Trios champions, Puma's going to be next. So Puma then finishes up, lifting weights, and then he turns to Pentagon Jr. They have more words, and Pentagon Jr. He's like, I'm the man of zero fear, zero metal, or something like that. And then they start fighting, and Pentagon Jr. Gets the the good end of it, and then Ricochet comes back and he pins Pentagon Jr. to the wall, and he starts choking him. And then he just stared at Pentagon Jr. and then left. And then that was it. So, we'll see if Pentagon Jr. and Prince Puma can work together to fight a common goal, their enemy, which is the Disciples of Death and Katrina. So, pretty intense segment. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Alright, we go inside the temple where we see Mil Muertes on his throne with the Lucha Underground title, and he's wearing an old school leather sling to to sell the attack from Pentagon Jr. last week. And then we get to Matt Striker and Vampiro, and Matt Striker asks Vampiro if what Pentagon Jr. did last week was done under his orders. And Vampiro takes that as an insult, and he's like, I'm trying to, I'm under strict doctor's orders, I can't talk about everything that happened last season, blah, blah, blah. So he's deflecting all the questions from Matt Striker, so it is what it is. Alright, then we get to our first official match on the night. Johnny Mundo, Johnny Nitro, whatever you want to call him, taking on Killshot. In a great match. Johnny Mundo was a great addition to Lucha Underground last season. He fought the likes of Alberto Del Rio, Mil Muertes, and others last year, so he's looking to pick up where he left off last season. And he's taking on Killshot. He came in at the end of last season, really made a name for himself, and this should be a great match. Starts off with it was a really good match. They got the crowd into it really quickly. Killshot gets a near fall off a DDT in the corner, and then he hits a 450 splash. And then we get a ref bump. And then Mundo tossed Killshot up for almost a backdrop, but he tossed him straight up, and then when Killshot came down, Mundo hit a mule kick. They were fighting on the outside, the crowd was chanting, Lucha, Lucha. And yes, I'm wearing the Sam McCallahan shirt, thank you. And then Mundo then hit the Starship kick, the kick that he hits off the ropes. Then he went up top and hit Starship Pain, or as he calls it, the end of the world. And he picks up the victory. So he starts off Season 2 with the victory, and looking to get back into the world title ranks. Match was pretty good, so I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. After the match, Johnny Mundo cuts a promo on Mil Muertes, saying that he's going to come for the title. And then Brian Cage, the Machine, interrupts him, and now he's a face, because last year he was a heel, and he was going after Prince Puma's title. And basically he says he's glad to be back inside the temple because he got injured at the end, and says he's the real challenger for Mil Muertes, and he promises not to only break his arm, but break him in half. And then he says he's a machine, he calls himself a machine. And then Johnny Mundo said Cage isn't in his league, and then Cage challenged him and came into the ring, so they go face to face, and Johnny Mundo bails, and he looks like he was going to the back. As he's leaving, Cage reminds Mundo that the last time they fought, he kicked his ass, which he did. And then he starts posing inside the ring, and then Johnny Mundo goes for a sneak attack, but Brian Cage sent him packing and outside the ring. So it looks like these two are going to start fighting, and who knows, one of these guys may be number one contender for the Lucha Underground title. So, we'll see what happens with these two guys. So I gave the Aftermath 3 out of 5 stars. Sorry for that. Crickety bed. So anyway, after that, we get a segment with Marty the Moth, who I had never seen before, in some kind of like hotel room or house. And he's keeping the lovely Sexy Star, oh yes, prisoner. I like to keep her prisoner, if you know what I mean. And he's basically wearing a sweater around his neck and looking like one of the Lost Bravado brothers. Yeah, I think he's one of the. He wrestles in CCW, I think. I don't recognize him though, so sorry. So anyway, he tells Sexy Star that his sister said that it's almost time for her to return to the temple and spread her wings, and she won't be alone because they're coming, because he's coming with them. And he had like a dead moth in his hand and tried to like show it to, put it in Sexy Star's face, and she's screaming like a little bitch. So Sexy Star's gonna be coming back, but not alone. So we'll see what happens in the next coming weeks. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. It just came off as Marty looking like a creep and a sociopath. Just weird. Alright, then we get a video package for the newest member of Lucha Underground, the Darewolf. Not Werewolf, Darewolf. PJ Black, former King of the Mountain champion and Global Force Wrestling, who lost to Bobby Roode. See, I can't say it that good. My voice is going. So we see him going down the road on his bike, and then 2 other bikers come down, and then they go to a motel, and then they start fighting them, and then they take off their helmets, both in lucha masks. So it's like an epic movie fight scene. It was like knives were used and stuff like that. And basically PJ Black beat the shit out of both of them. And then while this is happening, he cuts a little promo saying he doesn't want money or fame, he just wants the next thrill, and Lucha Underground is the place to get it. So we're going to see the debut of PJ Black coming up. So it's a pretty good video package. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Then we go back inside the temple with our second match of the night. The Mac, Willie Mac, taking on PJ Black in his debut. It was a pretty fun match. They look at each other, and Willie Mac's not impressed with PJ Black. Striker tries to get it, Striker makes some pork chop cash references, whatever that is. And it was a pretty good pace match. Lots of counters, keeping the crowd interested. And then it broke down to a striking battle between both of them with some kicks and some chops and stuff like that. And then PJ Black hits a Blue Thunder Bomb for a near fall. And then he hits a big springboard moonsault for another near fall. As he was really working on Willie Mac. And then Black came back, he goes up top, looking for the 450. But Mac rolled away, and Black had to come down from the ring. And then Black connected with a corner attack, and then he comes off the top. PJ Black hit a corner attack, and then he came off the top. Mac caught him with a sloppy, well, it wasn't really like a sloppy RKO style like Randy Orton did, but it was pretty effective, and he gets the win off a jumping RKO. So he picks up the win. Match was pretty decent. I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. Finish was kind of sloppy, but it is what it is. But PJ Black was impressive in his debut. So we'll see what's to come this season with PJ Black and as well as Willie Mac. So we'll see what happens from there. Alright, then we go back to the streets of LA, where we see a masked woman fighting some lucha guys. And then we hear her voice. She says she's sexy and she's venomous. Said it 5 times fast. And we find out that her name is Cobra Moon, and she's going to be debuting next week. So another luchadora, I guess you can call her, making the ranks in Lucha Underground. Now you got Sexy Star, you got Evilise, you got Katrina, and we'll see what happens with her next week. And you got Black Lotus, I forgot that too. So, lots of good women in Lucha Underground. So, we'll see what happens with that. Maybe they'll give them a Lucha Underground women's title or something like that. I don't know. So I give that 2 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get to the main event, a handicap match, 3-on-2. Prince Puma and Pentagon Jr. taking on the Disciples of Death, Barrio Negro, Il Sinestro de la Muerte. That's the Sinister of Death. And I'm going to have a problem with this. Trace? Trece? Trace? Or Tracy? Whatever. This match was okay. A lot of backstory to this. Puma losing the title, Mil Muertes, Pentagon Jr. attacking Mil Muertes last week and breaking his arm. and now Katrina using the Disciples of Death to get payback on Pentagon Jr. So we start off the match with the Disciples attacking both members at both Puma and Pentagon at the bell to try to use the numbers advantage to their the numbers game to their advantage. Puma then clean house, and then Pentagon hit a dive onto the outside on all three Disciples, and then Puma showed them up by hitting a shooting star press to the floor, and they were really teasing dissension between Puma and Pentagon Jr. throughout most of the match, and then Pentagon Jr. was like, okay, you finished, you take over. So Puma then took over, and then the Disciples started beating up on Pentagon Jr., and then they used the numbers game to their advantage to get control back. And then they went to beat up Puma, and then Master Dragon kept asking why they weren't going for the pin, and I guess they wanted to inflict more punishment on Prince Puma so he doesn't get a chance at Mil Muertes' title. So they were beating up Prince Puma for most of the match, and then Pentagon Jr. rushed in as he had enough, and he started to kick some ass. And then it just broke down to a clusterfuck. And then Prince Puma and Pentagon looked like they made brawl, but then they actually teamed together, and as the Disciples had recovered, and they started to work him over. And then Pentagon avoided a dive, which sent one Disciple into another, as Puma hit a Michinoku driver. Then he goes up top, he hits the 630 splash, but Pentagon Jr. hit a blind tag, and he stole the pin, which kind of made Prince Puma pissed. So they get the win. The match gave 3 out of 5 stars. Afterwards, Puma and Pentagon get into the middle of the ring. They start brawling, and Pentagon Jr. hit the backstabber. Then he went to go to break Puma's arm, but somehow Puma escaped, and Pentagon Jr. bailed as Mil Muertes was looking on. So these two guys might fight in a number 1 contenders match to see who faces Mil Muertes. And you gotta remember, what was his name? I can't think of his name. The guy that won the Gift of the Aztecs Championship last week from Phoenix. Can't think of his name. The Deer Hunter, I think his name is. I forgot his name, but it is what it is. So you gotta remember, him coming from Mil Muertes' title, he can cash in anytime he wants, as long as he keeps the title. So a lot of contenders for Mil Muertes' title. You got Brian Cage, you got Johnny Mundo, Prince Puma looking to get his title back. I think he has a rematch clause, so he probably will get a rematch soon. You got Pentagon Jr., and you got a lot more other challenges for Mil Muertes' title. So we'll just see what happens with that going into next week and the weeks to come. So that ends the show, and then we get a final segment. We see a man in a gray hoodie meditating at like a desk or something, or a table, and then we hear another mysterious voice start talking to him about the power of the mask, and it's basically saying that says you must inherit the mask, but you chose a different path. And then the guy in the gray hoodie takes his mask off, and it's Dragon Azteca, who's on a new path now. And then we get the reveal of the Mystery Man, and it's Rey Mysterio! Yes, Rey Mysterio is in Lucha Underground, so we're going to get a really good season this year. Especially, Johnny Mundo, Rey Mysterio, Angelico, Son of Havoc, Evilise. It's going to be a great season. I am really into Lucha Underground right now. That NXT and Ring of Honor are I think the 3 best shows on television right now. Because one, Raw sucks. They got a 2.34 rating this week. SmackDown doesn't look to be any better. And that's it. I mean, you only got 3 good shows on TV for the week. NXT, Lucha Underground, and TNA. And Ring of Honor. It's really 4 shows, I should say. But, it is what it is. But, what are you gonna do? So, that reveal of Rey Mysterio I gave 3 out of 5 stars. So, we'll see what happens next week on Lucha Underground. We got a debut of the Cobra. What's her name? I had it here somewhere. Oh, Cobra Moon. We'll see what happens with Brian Cage and Johnny Mundo. And then we'll see what happens with Pentagon Jr. and Prince Puma. And, Mil Muertes, what's going to happen with his title. So we'll find out what happens next week on Lucha Underground on the El Rey Network. So, all in all, it was a pretty good show for Lucha Underground. I gave it 7.5 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys thought of Lucha Underground in a comment or a video reply if you wish. If you have any questions regarding Lucha Underground, put it down below. You can send me up to 4 questions. You can also send me questions about WWE, NXT, TNA, Ring of Honor, and CCW, FSW, FBW, anything in the Indies, New Japan. So send me up to 4 questions down below. Inbox me on this channel. You can also hit me up on Facebook. Type in Peter Gilmore. You'll find me somewhere on Facebook. Or you can hit me up on Twitter. Link to my Twitter is down below, at Gilmore Inc. So, check them all out. Send me questions. And hopefully I'll get to a Q&A hopefully by end of next week. But we shall see. Alright, so that is your Lucha Underground review for February the 3rd, 2016. Once again, 7.5 out of 10 stars for the show. Very good show. So we'll see what happens next week. So, thank you all for watching this video. Leave your comments and your opinions down below. Hit that subscribe button down below. We're getting close to 200 on this channel. Already almost 1,500 video views. So, thank you all for that in the span of almost 3 months. So, we'll see what happens with that. So, thank you all for watching. I'm Peter Gilmore signing off. Good night, everybody. Peace out. Rock on. We'll see you next time. Peace.